but I'm definitely going to go for it anyways. And that requires a reset at the beginning, so. Okay, showing the hard mode. And, alright, we're gonna get going here. So, this is ActRaiser 2. This is obviously the sequel to ActRaiser 1. There is no simulation mode in this game, so for those of you who are going to be asking, because that is hands down the most common question, there is no sim mode. This game just has raw action for the entire game, and since it has no sim mode, they were able to devote all of their resources towards really fine-tuning the combat. So, okay, this this run actually starts off really scary. I mean, the run is scary all the way through, but in particular it starts off scary because of the RNG manipulation that I mentioned before. Okay, the boss fights are interesting in this game too. They either go extremely well and the bosses die in, 2 to 4 seconds, like that, or it doesn't go well and they hit me and I take all of the damage. Alright, so that was a perfect stage. Let's see how the boss goes. Alright, we should be in the right RNG seed. Alright, it's always a bit tense doing this stage, doing this game in general. Because this is hands down the hardest game that I run. And I think it's the hardest game on the Super Nintendo, but there are quite a few games that I have not played. And you're definitely going to see why in this game, in this run. If I make a mistake, I pay for it. And hard mode doesn't fool around with the damage. So for instance, the muddy water, the swamp water in that stage does 16 damage, and you have 20 max health. So the HUD at the top shows your health as balls, just like Illusion of Gaia. Same developers. And each ball is 2 health. So yeah, you have 20 max health. Touching that water does 16 damage. So if I touch it, then I game over. Which is pretty nice. It's a nice feeling. Nearly every boss in the game will do 8 damage to me if I touch them. Okay. So this is Benefique. This is one of the most... I think I got it. Nice. One of the most difficult stages in the game. That amount of damage might be a problem. We'll see. Just the sheer number of enemies in this stage is kind of ridiculous. And they're all pretty damaging. That's a great damage boost. Yeah, this is going to be a problem. Yikes. Yeah, this could be a problem. There's a very real chance that I'm going to die to the boss. There's a damage boost that's required to get the quick kill on the boss. And, the damage boost requires 3 health. Alright, good. I'm sitting at 7, so... yeah, if I don't get a 1 cycle here, I'm going to die. And I'm gonna have to redo this last screen. Ooh. Alright, we're good. Alright, I can breathe a little bit easier now. That stage, it's extremely hard to recover from your mistakes in that stage. There are a lot of strats that are not smart to use in a live run, but the backup strats are like 10 to 15 seconds slower. And if I miss most of those strats, I end up losing like 20 seconds. So, we ended up doing it. We ended up making it through. pretty tense. And I got a familiar RNG seed on the boulders. That's really the only indication that you have as for where in the RNG cycle you are. So I should be able to manipulate the first boss in this stage properly. So this stage is really wide open. It's just like a huge glide for the entire stage. I have to fly straight through an eagle, and then I have a mini boss, and I want that boss to not shoot fireballs. I want him to dive at me. He's the reverse Storm Eagle, if you will. Dives are good, fireballs are bad. But first I gotta make it right through this eagle, and I'm gonna be using a bit of an exploit. Missed. Oh, I did get it! Wow, that was probably last possible frame. And I don't want to drop from him. Perfect. Alright, we should be in there. Yes. Nice, and I hit him twice with the Phoenix, which is extremely tight. Alright, we're good. We're good. So that was one of the major scary parts for me. These first 3, well, 2.5 stages rather. That was perfect. So the main thing that makes this game even possible to play remotely fast is the fact that the invincibility frames work in your favor. So as you're going to be seeing in this elevator ride, the sword plant attack and dive attack grant you complete invincibility until you hit the ground. So it's really, really nice for like starting attack chains on enemies because you know you're going to be safe. But what I'm able to do for a lot of enemies, like you saw with that eagle, and like you're going to see throughout most of the next stage, assuming things go well, is that you can chain invincibility on normal enemies. So when you hit an enemy, then they get invincibility frames, but it works both ways. You can't hit them and they can't hit you. And if during those invincibility frames you're able to start a sword plant, for instance, or another glide attack, or what have you, then you'll hit them on the first frame that the invincibility frames reactivate. Yeah, that was one of my biggest concerns. Sometimes this quick kill doesn't work properly. So, we're still gonna be a bit safe here, but this boss is a real pain. The fastest strat there requires taking 16 damage from damage boosts. Which is not great. So you have to keep that boss in stun lock for the entire fight, and if you miss the last hit by doing a sword plant slightly off time, then you just are instantly killed. And there is absolutely zero visual indication for whether or not you're on time or not. It's literally 1 or 2 frames difference between a perfect fight and getting killed. And it doesn't matter how much you have because you're required to take 16 damage of damage boosts. But it's okay, not too much time loss. So the next stage is my favorite stage in the game, Demon's Cave. It is the most technical stage in the game, and it really, really punishes caution and going slow. So there is no safety here. I just have to plug ahead and hope that I don't make mistakes. But it looks really, really neat when it's done well. Alright, so this spider is going to be the first... Perfect. Perfect. That's the invincibility frame chaining that I mentioned before. I start the attack with a dive attack, and then sword plant through him, keeping him in iframes the entire time. Spiders only have 16 frames of invincibility, so after I connect with the dive attack, I have 16 frames to jump at the proper height and start a sword plant to hit him twice, and then I have to do that again. So it's really, really tight to get all that to work out the way you want it to. Alright. So we got through all 4 spiders, which is good. Touching a spider does 7 damage, over a third of my max health. Okay. 10 health is good, that means this boss can't one-shot me. Okay, a bit of improv there. Not a big deal, like 2 seconds time loss. So the story of this game is, I think this is supposed to be a prequel to ActRaiser 1. Essentially Satan was sealed away or something, he was neutralized, and his 7 chief lieutenants have freed him and unleashed him on the world. And those 7 lieutenants tend to be, or happen to be, the 7 deadly sins. So, you play as the Master, or rather God, taking possession of a statue. And he's going to go and destroy all the demons, the 7 deadly sins, and Satan. Unlike ActRaiser 1, you can play these stages in almost any order. There are 6 different pairs of stages, and each of those pairs represents one of the 7 deadly sins. So, for instance, the first 2 stages, Indestin and Benefic, the plant stage and the waterfall stage with the snail, those 2 represent the deadly sin Sloth, and Sloth himself is the snail. The next 2 stages that I played, Madaro and Gluttony, or sorry, Madaro and Demon's Cave, spoiler alert, those represent Gluttony. These 2 stages, Gratis and Stormr, represent Greed. And then, I guess I'll talk about the others as I get there. So, Gratis is a pretty simple stage. There's a hidden shortcut underneath the swamp, which is not only a lot faster, but a lot safer. And this is one boss strat that I'm actually not going to do. I'm going to take this a bit safer as well. Okay. So the fastest boss strat there is to charge up a Phoenix and manipulate him in a way that's so precise it can't be measured. And then you use the Phoenix and hope it hits him twice, but there's a really good chance that the Gargoyle's going to block it. Gargoyles are some of the smartest enemies I've seen in the video game. Their AI is incredibly advanced, and they react to your inputs before your character actually moves. So it's really hard to outsmart them. Nice, and a perfect ping-pong strat on the Goblin King. That's really good. If that strat fails, the Goblin King is immensely difficult to actually kill. He's unlike all the other bosses in that he doesn't want to fight you, so he continuously floats in a semicircle around you. And as you move, he moves with you, and he moves exactly as fast as you can. So he's really, really hard to hit, and if he gets to the edge of the screen, he creates a shield that blocks 4 hits. So if you drop that combo, you end up losing like 25 to 30 seconds. It's kind of ridiculous. But that was a perfect stage with the strats that I was intending to use. I should point out, my record in this game is a 41:54. It is absolutely impossible for me to get even close to that time in this run, because I'm not going to be using most of the strats. The fastest strats in this game are incredibly risky. So even my backup strats are really risky, just because this game doesn't care. Nice, 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 nice. I need that. Okay. Okay, okay. So, speaking of not caring, this is Stormr. This is the hardest stage in the game. Stormr is ridiculous. This is supposed to be the last stage that you play. But, like I said, you can go in any order, and it's faster to go in this order just due to map movement. But this is definitely supposed to be the last stage that you play, which means that most people don't get to this stage. Luckily for them. There are 2 mini-bosses and 4 extremely long screens with very damaging enemies who have a lot of health. So I'm going to be playing this really, really safe. Okay, good. So here's another gargoyle. I am going to try the Phoenix strat on him. We'll see if it works. Alright, I got most... I didn't get most of it, because... Okay. Well, that's really unlucky. The Phoenix... The Phoenix does inconsistent damage sometimes. It's supposed to do 6 damage. That's the reason I use it. I haven't really mentioned magic yet, but... the Phoenix is hands down the strongest magic, and it does 6 damage if it hits. And you can hit most bosses with it, which does 12 damage, and is 60% of their max health, done in 3/4 of a second. So it is the best DPS in the game. But the little fire plumes that trail behind the Phoenix also have hitboxes, and sometimes they're greedy, and they decide that they're going to do damage instead of the big fiery bird. And they do between 1 and 3 damage completely at random, and it doesn't make any sense. So it looks like one of the fire plumes decided to hit that gargoyle instead of the Phoenix itself. But it's okay, we're able to recover. So this is the last screen. The only thing left is Greed. An ideal fight for Greed will start with him flapping his wings and creating wind. He's probably not going to do that. Wow. Wow, he didn't want any of that. So he juked me real bad. That was definitely my fault. He could have been dead. And he gave me the same exact pattern twice in a row. It's really bizarre RNG. But that's alright, we made it through the stage without game overing, and that's all I want. We're still okay. Alright. So, the next stage has yet again another gargoyle. We'll see, we are, well, 0 for 2. I didn't try it on the gratis gargoyle. We're 0 for 2 on Phoenix hits. Let's see if we can do it here. Palace used to be one of the most frustrating stages to run. I've been running this game for over 6 years. I started running this on February 1st, 2010, and I've been running it on and off since then. More on than off. It's been an ongoing process for a very long time. In this screen here, there's only one thing that matters, and that's this disappearing ice platform thing that's at the top of the screen. And it disappears disappears and reappears every 8 seconds. So you want to hit it on a very particular cycle, or else you're going to be losing 8 seconds. And what you're normally supposed to do is ride that crab across the spikes, but the crab likes to stop and poke around and waste time most of the time. And that's the laggiest section in the entire game, on top of it. So it wasn't uncommon to lose 20 seconds in this stage. But I found that damage boost, which completely skips the crab, so that's nice. Oh, get some. Revenge! Alright, so we're in good shape here. Unfortunately, the most inconsistent and frustrating boss is up next. That's a lie. The most non-random, inconsistent, and frustrating boss is up next. If she hits you, she actually induces a status effect. She's the only enemy in the game that does that. Nice. Oh, perfect. Perfect stage. Perfect stage. That makes me happy. So, fun fact, the last 6 attempts that I've had that made it to Palace, that made it to this boss in particular, missed the quick kill by exactly 1 frame and died. So, that boss doesn't care. The boss really does not care about your feelings. And in fact, you're lucky if you miss a quick kill and die, because if you miss a quick kill and don't die, you lose 2 cycles on that boss, which is like 22 seconds or so. So, yeah, it sucks. So this pair of levels actually doesn't follow the trend before, with the Deadly Sin being in the 2nd stage. These represent Lust, and Lust was the boss I just killed. This stage, the demon of this stage is Deception, and the entire stage revolves around the concept of deception. So the first screen is not too bad. But the second screen is infinitely wrapping in all directions. And after about 10 seconds, a door will appear in 4 of 16 different locations. So what I'm going to do is check 4 different locations, and it's guaranteed to be in one of those. So it's not in the first 2. There you are. So it was in the 3rd location, that's not too bad. It's a really, really neat concept. And then this screen is another one which I'm actually really sad that you don't get to see. This pulsating bubble maze is a full screen maze, like it's really, really huge. And after a few seconds it starts to rotate, but it keeps your relative direction the same. And then there's this guy. This is Deception himself. And he's another one that punishes caution. It's really interesting the way that the game programs these different enemies to either punish recklessness or punish caution. And this guy, if you try and escape, he will teleport both of you to a new map, and that map replaces some of the platforms with spikes. And he'll do this up to 3 times until nearly all of the surfaces are just spikes, and you don't have any footing to fight him. So he's pretty neat. But yeah, in that bubble room, like if you were going to go up, the screen will rotate so that up is going to look like left, but you still have to move that direction by pushing up. So it's a really, really awkward screen. It's tough to get your bearings straight there. So that stage is actually my favorite concept. It's really, really neat. All right. So, 8 stages down. Up next is Deathfields. This is the 2nd hardest stage, right behind Stormr. And mistakes in the first screen snowball out of control extremely quickly. And it all starts with the very first dive. This one here. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna damage boost off that guy. You normally don't want that goblin to follow you, but there is a lifesaver, because instead of taking 8 damage from a damage boost, I was able to only take 1. This is also the most overall laggy stage in the game. Palace 1 is the laggiest section, but this screen, like, on hard mode they just stopped caring. They didn't care about game optimization at all. They were just like, alright, throw, how many different enemies do we have? Alright, throw all of them right there. This stage, this screen rather, has some really nasty strats that you can do. But if you miss them by, like, again, the smallest margin you can think of, margin's so small that you can't actually see it, you are instantly killed. And I'm taking a ton of damage using the backup strat anyways. The game just really doesn't care what I want to do here. Alright. Okay. So 11 health. The second screen has a significant number of damage boosts. I'm actually going to use a an old strat, safer strat here. I'm still unsure if I'll have enough health for it, but we're gonna try. Yeah, this is gonna be close. Alright, well, on that boss you have, at most, a 3-frame window to hit him with a double Phoenix attack. And that window is dictated by how early you're able to do the Raging Bomb before the battle begins. So, I recognize that the Raging Bomb was too late, so I actually had a 0-frame window to do that, and I tried to bail out, and I was unsuccessful. Wow. And I missed it the second time because I didn't jump high enough, but we barely made it. Holy smokes. So that's the kind of damage that you're up against in this category. But we did it. We did it. We didn't game over yet. Yeah, this game is actually so difficult that I've promised myself to not offer it for any live runs anymore. I made an exception specifically for this event because, I mean, it's an awesome SNES game that needs to be shown. But yeah, this is an incredibly rough game. All right, so. This is Altha. This is where we fight Wrath. Now this stage is actually pretty simple, with the exception of these boulders and some other random events that happen in the third screen. There are a lot of these jumps where the boulders... Okay, wow, we got perfect luck. That's alright, that'll come back to haunt me later. Okay. Yeah, there are many instances there where the boulders can just instantly kill you without you having any chance to do anything. And it's really frustrating, because they hit you, like, in the middle of a committal jump, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nice. And those two are the only two examples of a damage boost that's used to gain additional height. Because you only gain a few pixels, it's not much. But in this game, underneath most platforms is an invisible platform. And you're not actually able to stand on these platforms. Well, you are, but not for a long time. You can stand on them, but you instantly fall off. But you're able to buffer a jump on those, and you're able to actually jump off of them. So it's really, really handy for... hold on. Alright, I think I might have gotten it. Let's see. Come on, baby. Nice. Okay. It's really, really handy for really quick climbs because you don't actually have to land on a platform. You can just buffer a jump off of the invisible platform, so it saves you from having to actually like go through the landing animation. So that was a perfect stage. It actually would have been a gold split. Wrath is an unfortunate boss because he actually does not have a hitbox. This giant flaming sprite cannot possibly hurt you. It's just the rotating fire shields and his Kamehameha attack, if he ever gets a chance to fire it. So once you break his shield, it's pretty much impossible to die unless you screw up really bad. Alright, and here are our obligatory water levels. This game doesn't have water physics, it just throws up a foreground of water, and that's pretty much it. But it does have fish, and fish in this game are jerks. They're really, really rough. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh no! Okay, I accidentally got a frame perfect hit, and that screwed up my damage boost. So, alright, I'm gonna take a quick death at the beginning of this screen. Wow, that's unfortunate. Not a big time loss, and we're gonna be okay now. There's pretty much no way I can take enough damage here to die. But yeah, if you miss a single manipulation on a single enemy in that first screen, it screws everything up. The manipulations in this game are extremely tight. Okay, good. Alright, alright. So yeah, if you try and use a Phoenix, or any magic really, and you get hit on the same frame that you release it, you both take damage. So you take damage, and the enemies take, like, the magic gets cast and whatnot. Unfortunately, I wanted to do a damage boost, like, 1 second later there, in that first screen, but I accidentally did the 1 frame double hit Phoenix. And the middle section of that stage, if you don't damage boost, gets really, really hairy. I kind of got bailed out by good shark luck, but it's a really scary screen. I mean, like, the moral of the story with this game is that if you beat the stage without game overing, then you're good. Alright, so, Altheria, another water stage. Depending on the shark luck that I get in the first screen, I might have to do a super, super, super tight sword plant right before the boss, but we'll see. Let's just hope that I don't have to do that. Alright, well, worst shark luck so far. Yep. Yep. Alright, yep, we got literally the worst possible luck you can get in that screen. We might be okay. Nope, we're not gonna be okay. I have to suicide. 7 health is not enough health to complete that screen, and it is most definitely going to be faster to suicide than to try and proceed with that amount of health. Okay. Alright, we're good. So this creepy face thing, you cannot kill it. You have to just keep batting it away. If that touches you, it does 8 damage. Okay. Alright, we should be good now. Alright, wow. This game is ridiculous. So that was Envy. You attack the Flame of Jealousy, Flame of Envy, whatever you want to call that. And you get out of here. Those 2 stages are, I mean, problem, and I didn't drop any, it just, the entire stream just disappeared.
Yeah, perfect up till now, not even a hitch, but...
Alright, it looks like it's up for me.
Yep, you're good.
Yep, we're good. Okay. Alright, so... this is the Tower of Souls. Or the Tower of Babel, really, but Nintendo censorship changed it to the Tower of Souls. This stage is... this is where we fight the 7th deadly sin. This is where we fight Pride. And the story... I'm gonna take that. The story of this stage is that... all the humans looked around and went, "Oh my god, look at all the demons are gone, we did a great job," and considered themselves to be equal to God, and built this tower extending to the heavens, and all of these machines to prove how great they were, and the Master wasn't real happy about that, so literally what I'm doing here is going down and destroying all of their hard work. And taking pride with it. Now, hopefully we don't get the bad bobsled here. Okay, sometimes there's a Medusa head ghost thing that spawns here that has no right to spawn here, and if it does, it's unavoidable death. So I'm glad I didn't get that. This stage, though, has 7 bosses. Or maybe 1 boss and 6 mini-bosses, but it is a boss rush at the end. Alright, good. All of the bosses still do 8 damage if they touch me, so you still do not want to get hit by any of these. Fortunately, I get hit by a fireball instead of the snake himself, so that's not too bad. You still only have 3 uses of magic in this stage. So, throughout the stage I was trying to kill as many enemies as I could to try and get a a lucky MP drop, and I was unsuccessful. It is completely random, it's impossible to manipulate those. So if that's the case, I just have to try and combo these things to death with just my sword. And like I mentioned before, like my main DPS is going to be the sword plant, which relies on killing an enemy entirely within their invincibility frames. So if I mistime anything, I'm gonna end up being hit. Like, I have to be inside the hitbox of enemies to get any kind of DPS without magic. Alright. So there's manipulation on this guy again. Alright. So, here comes Pride. Pride has 5 attacks, and he randomly chooses between them. There is one attack we do not want him to use. Hey! Guess what one we got? Oh, baby. Alright, good. So the the clock attack is a full-screen, unblockable time stop. Alright, he was merciful and used the engine eruption attack the other 2 times. So if he chooses that, you are unavoidably stuck in place for 8 full seconds. And there is nothing you can do about it. You gotta deal with it. It really sucks. It really does. Especially since this is the final stage. It's not what you want right at the end. But otherwise, a pretty good stage. Not bad at all. Alright, so coming up is the main reason that I never offer this game for events anymore. This is Deathheim. And if you're familiar with ActRaiser 1, then Deathheim is going to be no surprise to you. This is just a boss rush. We have to refight the 7 deadly sins in a row, and then Tanzra. And there is no health refill in this stage. And I can't use magic on top of it. One of these angels takes away my ability to use magic, and instead gives me this useless sword that shoots a 1 damage beam of fire. It really sucks. So, yeah, this is really rough. Especially since the first boss requires 2 damage boosts. It's gonna be an adventure. So we'll see. There are 3 major threats here. This is threat number 1. We'll see if I can do it. We'll see if I can do this properly. This is our good friend Sloth again. Right, I don't want to get hit by him. That's extremely bad. Okay, down to 6 health. This is Envy. Envy is the one fight where we actually do care about having this weapon. Because we actually have higher DPS with it, so that's not bad. Up next is Gluttony. For this boss I use a strat known as the rocking chair. If you can hear my controller, it'll all make sense. Okay. Alright, so this is the main problem. We have to fight Wrath again, and Wrath is fine. Wrath is no big deal. But we also have to fight Greed. Please use Fire Breath. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Perfect luck. Now, to be fair, that pattern is not rare from Greed. It's actually pretty common for him to do fire or wind attack into Fire Breath. If he doesn't, though, you lose literally infinite time. If he flies away, he will actually sometimes never come back on screen. He'll just fly away and stay off the top, and you cannot hit him. He's just gone. There we are. Okay, good guy Pride. No, 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 no! Why are you doing this to me? Please, please. Shit, this will kill me. Alright, great. Excellent game. Excellent game. Incredible. Incredible boss. Absolutely incredible. Alright. If I die to Tanzra, I'm not going to redo this stage. I'm just gonna throw that out there. So, Tanzra has so much health it doesn't fit on the HUD, so the game just eliminates the HUD. Tanzra has 50 health. And the best that you can do in this fight, the best for a human to do in this fight is a 6 cycle. So I'm going to try and do 9 damage per cycle. Okay, there's 9. And on cycles 2 and 5 I have to do a jump here. To scroll those fireballs further off screen. Okay, it's 18 damage. That was bizarre. So I'm one short, 25 damage. It's still okay though. That's not. That was 3, so I'm at 28 damage. This is cycle 5. $37 maybe? Wow. Oh man. God, this game. Alright, we did it.
Wow,
we
what
did
a
it.
finish. Man, that's fantastic.
Yikes.
Couldn't have been closer.
Yeah, no, I could not have been closer. So I was 1 hit away from dying on him. That sword plant chain, you have a 2-pixel window, and you don't have long to set it up. The entire combo attack, sword plant, has to be done the exact same. If you drop a frame in the middle of it, you get hit. And I think you can shift it like 4 frames either way. So if you're early, then you land and get hit by his laser beam. And if you're late, you land and you get hit by his rib cage. So you have to poke him at the exact right moment when his rib cage opens up. And then, while his iframes are active, you have to jump, adjust to the 2-pixel window, and chain together the sword plants, and then escape without getting hit. You have to do that 6 times. So.
Well, on the plus side, good guy Pride filled your health back up, so that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, good guy Pride. Time stopper into explosion, time stopper into missile. That's incredible. Holy smokes. Alright, so yeah, we did it. 46:15. It's like, what, 4.5 minutes off my PB. I am very okay with that time.